Well, hello there, Rip City. Chris Burkhardt here with you. Welcome into Blazers Game Day, the first home version of Blazers Game Day, at least for the preseason, as the Blazers return to the friendly confines of Moda Center to take on the Sacramento Kings tonight after a pretty good game, if I do say so myself, against the Golden State Warriors just a few nights ago. Now, we don't know what tonight's going to bring, who's going to be in the starting lineup. Obviously, in that Golden State game, Denny Avdia was sent to the bench. That did raise a few eyebrows, but Coach Billups did say prior to the game, don't read into it. Don't read into it. We're just going to experiment with some lineups. And the lineup to start the game was Drew Holiday, Shaedon Sharpe, Toumani Camara, Jeremy Grant, and Donovan Clingan. That may change tonight. I would expect it to change, but we will definitely get an update when we head to the coach's corner in about 15 minutes. Coach Billups will be talking to the media, and we'll get down there and take a listen. But before we jump ahead to today, let's kind of look back at what happened in Golden State just a few nights ago. The Warriors picked up a 129-123 victory against your Portland Trail Blazers. It was all in the fourth quarter. Golden State 51-26, outscoring Portland. And a lot of that was just because it was the end of the bench guys who were in there for Portland. It was the guys who don't get a lot of time. The guys are going to be battling for roster spots or might very well likely be down with the Rip City remix. So there wasn't a ton to read into there. You would have liked them to be able to hold the lead just a little bit better. But at the same time, it's not that worrisome in the grand scheme of things. There was no anchor there to totally kind of bring it all together. There wasn't your Toumani, your Drew Holiday, your defensive guy to help keep that lead intact. I think you would have liked to see just a little bit more out of Ryan Rupert. He didn't look completely ready to go, as you would expect, as he's continuing to develop as an NBA player. But again, it's preseason, and hopefully you get more out of him tonight. I'm just eager to see how the team looks versus Sacramento, what that starting lineup is, and how the disbursement of minutes go, because let's take a look at what happened in Golden State. I mean, you look at Donovan Clingan. Donovan Clingan played just 11 minutes in that game, and most people would like to see him play more. And I'm not reading into that either. I don't think it had anything to do with Donovan Clingan out of shape or this or that. I think it had a lot to do with, hey, we want to get young Hansen in there. We want to get Dwap Reith in there. And Dwap Reith did play 11 minutes as well off the bench. Now, young Hansen, he played 21 before fouling out in this one. And Portland needs to know what they have in him. I think they know what they have in Dwap Reith. He's been here long enough. They know that they can rely on him to go in, get you some buckets. He's not going to be a world beater defensively, but he'll get you a block shot here and there. But they know what they have. They don't know what they have in young Hansen yet. They got to get minutes out of him, and that's what the preseason is for. As for Donovan Clingan, they know exactly what they have in Donovan Clingan. They know that he's going to be a defensive anchor. He's going to be able to hopefully get some shots up. I would like to see his offense continue to grow. But again, he is exactly what they need from him. He's going to lock up that paint. He's going to make getting baskets around the rim nearly impossible. So it's not like they need a preseason run out of him to really understand what he's bringing to the table. They got that in tow. They got it locked up. Now, young Hansen, completely different story. And in this game, he didn't look great. I think he was exposed a little bit that the NBA game is a lot different than he's used to. He did play those 21 minutes. He finished tonight 2 of 5 from the floor, including 4 rebounds. He did have a single assist, but he had 4 turnovers, and then he fouled out with those 6 fouls. And a lot of this was just the mismatches. Golden State likes to go small. They like to go fast. If they give you a lineup that it takes Young out of the paint and he has to go defend the perimeter, he's exposed a little bit. He doesn't have that lateral quickness to stay in front of guys yet. He doesn't have just that I would say knowledge base. I know he's a smart guy, but to make the knowledge base to make up for the lack of athleticism. And I'm not saying he's not an athlete, but there is a special certain sense of athleticism that you need to be a good perimeter defender. And when you put him out there against guys like, if you get him against a Steph Curry, you get him against a Moses Moody, right? You get him against even a Seth Curry. Like, they're going to find ways to get around you just because they're fast and you're not. He can live in the paint. Now, offensively, I think he'll get refined. The turnovers will hopefully come down as long as he's making passes. Like, he's not just throwing the ball out there loosely and taking bad care of that. Like if you're trying to get the pass in a window and the window closes, but you see something there and you're trying to take advantage, I think coach will live with that. I'll live with that. I think fans will live with that. Just don't be lazy with the ball. I think we'll continue to see him to grow. Outside of the center rotation, though, man, Tumani Kamara, he was kind of the talk of social media. He looked ready to go. He looked in midseason form. The defense was there. The shot was falling. He finished the night 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. And as many people were pointing out on social, like if this is the Tumani Kamara that we get all year long, yeah, we're in for it. Like he's going to be good. He's going to be the type that is a household name, not just in Rip City. Like people in Houston and people in Orlando and people in Philadelphia will know who Tumani Kamara is. And that's huge. That's huge for a guy that was the air quotes throw-in for the Damian Lillard trade, right? And now he's becoming a guy who you can completely hitch the wagon to. He is becoming a guy that you can rely upon. His game is so fun. I know I've told you guys this many, many times, and I will say it again. He is the most fun I have had watching a player play defense for the Portland Trailblazers since Wesley Matthews. And Wes was a guy who would completely garner my attention just watching him lock guys up. Tumani does that. Another guy who gets a chance to do that is Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday looked good. He only played the first half, played sparingly overall. He had 17 minutes, but he led the team with 7 assists. He had 17 for a plus-minus. I think they'll take that all day long. He was effective when he needed to be. But defensively, he showed off why he's so good on that end. He was able to get in on the offensive ball handlers. He was able to get them out of their comfort zone. He was pushing up against them. He was making them work. And I think that's something that can trickle down and other players can totally find and lean on and learn from, because you saw Blake Wesley was playing like that in this game when he was basically handed the reins as the backup point guard. Scoot Henderson's out and Dame's not playing, so you got to find someone. And Wesley was kind of making it on the defensive end as well. So Drew Holiday, I think, showed you exactly what the Blazers got him for and exactly what he can bring to the table. He's going to run the offense, and he's going to make sure defensively the team is locked in. Now, we've got this far without talking about the one player in that game that I think really, really turned heads, and that was Shaedon Sharpe. Everybody has talked about him all season long, wanting him to take a jump to be a star. He is good. Portland likes him. Portland knows there's talent there, but when they want to see the aggression, they want to see him be an absolutely unstoppable force offensively. And in this game, I thought he showed that off. He played 23 minutes. He was 9 of 15 from the floor, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. He did have 6 rebounds and 2 assists, led the Blazers in scoring with 22 points. And that is exactly what you want from Shaedon Sharpe. Now imagine you put that into a 35-minute game. Maybe that's a 30-point performance. Right now, if you're going to give me 1 point per minute played for Shaedon Sharpe, you're going to be in a very, very good spot. I've been saying for a long time that the team is going to need him and want him to take the big jump, and I think that's definitely going to happen at some point. I think if this is right now the point where he's going to start showing it off, I'll take it all day long. I will take it all day long. I thought he looked incredible, and I really, really think that that is not a one-off. I think this is something he can continue to build upon, and I think this is something that Blazer fans definitely like. Definitely like. Now, if you want to join the conversation with me, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also go on over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, where Jeff Peterson gets the associate producer role, telling me I need to turn the volume up for YouTube. I'm trying. Producing that part and hosting it's fun. It's a challenge. I bring it on, just like I think the Blazers are taking on the challenge this year of becoming a better offensive team. And I think we saw that in this game. To drop 70-plus on Golden State in the first quarter, a Golden State team that has been good defensively for a very, very long time. And even if they don't have the same bodies, even if they don't have the same guys that you're used to, like they're still going to give it to you. They're still going to make you work. And Portland was able to offensively put it together. I absolutely love that. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Blazers Game Day. When we come back, we're going to head down to the coach's corner, hear what Coach Billups has to say ahead of this game against the Kings, hopefully get an update on the starting lineup. Who will it be? Will Denny be back in there? Will there be some more shuffling as Coach Billups takes advantage of the preseason to figure out what he has in this lineup? We will find out in just a few minutes here on your home, the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you. We will get you an update from Chauncey Billups. Unfortunately, it's preseason for the Tech guys too. No, no audio coming from the press room today. That's okay though. We'll definitely figure that out, and we'll get going. It's no big deal. We're going to continue to figure this out and have some fun here on Blazers Game Day with you. I will get you updated, though, as soon as I see anyone give us an update of the Blazers starting lineups. We will give that to you. Speaking of which, we do have an update that the starting lineup tonight will be Drew Holiday, Shaden Sharp, Denny Avdia, Toumani Camara, and then Donovan Clingan. So Jeremy Grant goes to the bench, and the Blazers go with the Denny and 2 lineup, which is one that I definitely think the Blazer fans want to see. I like this lineup. I think it is defensively, it's great. I think it offers a lot offensively, keeping Shea in there. I would suspect that probably the next game you end up seeing a Drew, 2, Denny, Grant, and DC lineup just to see what else you have out there in that lineup as well. But that's good to see that is your starting lineup again. Once again tonight, Drew, Shea, Denny, Toumani, and Donovan Clingan getting the start. Now, I would hope that Donovan Clingan plays a little bit more tonight. He did play just 11 minutes of action in the game against Golden State, and I don't think that has anything to do with he's hurt or he's out of wind or any of that. It's more just about, hey, we got to see what we got in this lineup. We got to get some of the young guys in, and it is what it is. Tonight, I think you end up getting more out of him, probably in that 20-minute range, and I think you'll be very, very happy with what you see. Speaking of happy with what you see, shout out to Victor's son who posted this video, and Victor's been doing a good job, especially since Young Hansen came in, covering Young, covering the Chinese angle, and just really doing a good job covering the Blazers. But he posted a video on his Twitter of Damian Lillard out there about a half hour ago, warming up, doing his thing. Like that just feels right, doesn't it? Walk in and see Damian Lillard taking warm-ups and he's not wearing a Bucks uniform. Like we lived in the weird timeline for like 2 years, and then Hulk went back in time. He found the proper Infinity Stone. He put the timeline back together, and now we got Dame back. And I think we can all live with that. We can all think that that's a pretty good thing, pretty happy with that. We can be excited for that, because I know I am. There's so much that is more important than basketball, and I think Damian Lillard falls into that category. Because it just rejuvenated Portland when he re-signed that deal. When he came back as a free agent, it was so wonderful. And then you had the moment at Pioneer Courthouse Square. And so I remember looking at Chad, telling him, like, you know what? Like, it feels good to be a Blazer fan again. Like, you can wear the pinwheel with pride. You can be happy. You got things are looking up. Damian Lillard's part of that. And he's not even going to play this year. That's the impact that man has. Incredible to see him out on the floor. The other thing that's incredible to see when you're inside Moda, if you didn't get a chance to experience it at FanFest, those new video boards are awesome. I walked in there a few minutes ago, as soon as I got here, right before the show started, and it adds so much to that Arena Bowl. Just having those new scoreboards on the end zones there makes the thing brighter, adds a ton of light. You look up there, there's all the stats that your heart can desire. And a cool little feature I didn't even think about, but if you're sitting in the 300 level and you're behind those signs, your view may be blocked of the main scoreboard there over center court. Well, to battle that, they have screens on the back side in every single section. So if you're up there and you can't see the main scoreboard, you can just look right in front of you, and boom, there's a nice big screen for you to see the replays and all that. So nice little feature that the Blazers were able to add. And, of course, plenty of new food items here as well. You listened to Chad and I on Tuesday when we were down at the Taste of Moda Center experiencing some of that stuff, some great nachos. The Hot Link from Hempler's Sausage is absolutely phenomenal. The dirty sodas, I know Michael Shacker was a big fan of those, as was I. I think I had one of them that was like Sprite-based, but then had apple flavor added in, and oh my goodness, it was good. So lots of things you can consume here while you enjoy the game. Speaking of which, the Sacramento Kings tonight coming in to Portland, a Kings team that has kind of had their ups and downs, right? Like, what are they? Who are they? What can they be? It looked like they were kind of turning the corner a little bit, and then next thing you know, the wheels started to fall back off again, and they're just the Sacramento Kings. And so they definitely have a lot to earn and a lot to lose this season, because they, as an organization, need to know who they are. What are they moving forward? Do they continue to build on the roster that they have, or is it time to pivot off of guys like Domantas Sabonis? I mean, they already pivoted off of De'Aaron Fox, so do you pivot more moving forward? So there's a lot of questions if you're the Sacramento Kings. Absolutely there are. So this preseason and regular season is just as important to them as it is to anybody else. I mean, they made the play-in last year at 40-42, and I think they would like to build upon that. They're a good young team, lots of talent there. Lots of talent. But you look at the year prior, that was a team that was a 48-win team. They took a hit. So how did they rebound, so to speak, and get back where they want to go? I think you'll find out a little bit more tonight as you see them as well. A team that Portland's going to be very, very familiar with throughout the year. Is Sacramento is so weird because Sacramento is way down there in California, but they are the closest opponent that the Blazers get to play, which is just crazy to think about. It's like 600 miles away, and they're the closest opponent. Meanwhile, if you're the Brooklyn Nets, you can get in a bus and go play the New York Knicks. It's not fair, fans. It's not fair. But this Sacramento team, let's look at what they were able to do in their first preseason game. They lost to the Toronto Raptors 130-122. Domantas Sabonis, 19 points, 4 rebounds in that one. I think you know what you get with Baby Sabas. He's going to be good no matter what. He's an absolute force in the paint. He's got a good jump shot. He rebounds well. Like, he's a very, very good player. So you know what you got in him. I think the questions for Sacramento are how you continue to fit Zach LaVine in that lineup. What do you have from DeMar DeRozan as he continues to, no disrespect, but continues to age in the NBA? What is his strength? His strength his entire career has been getting in that mid-range, maybe finding ways to get to the paint. Could he still do that? And I think you also want to look for guys like Keegan Murray to continue to grow. Like, he looked like he was going to be a really, really good player, and then at times he kind of took a back seat and he struggled a little bit. So it's a matter of what can you get out of him. Last year he averaged 12.5 points, 6.7 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and if you're the Sacramento Kings, you want to see more of that. You want to see more. You want to see 15, 16 points. The rebound numbers are good. You want to see more assists. There's a lot that you want to see him definitely improve upon moving forward. So Sacramento has a lot to learn from this game, just like Portland. So I think you get a good basketball game tonight from two teams who they know their roster, but they don't know their roster. They have to learn certain things about what they're going to be moving forward, how they're going to attack moving forward, and what their true aspirations and goals can be, what is achievable for them. So I find a lot of intrigue in this game. And I also think that how Portland attacks this team is going to be important to watch too, because they're going to be a much different defensive look than what you see with Golden State. They got guys who are just they're big. They're going to try to body you a little bit. The movement defensively isn't what we've seen from Golden State over the years, but they're going to still make you work. They got athletes. I mean, Zach LaVine's a freak of an athlete, right? So they're going to make you work. A different style. How do you attack that? So I'd be looking for Shaedon Sharpe to have another good game. I'd be looking to see if Toumani Camara can continue to build off that game we saw against Golden State. And then now that you get this lineup rolling out, I think Denny Avdia and Jeremy Grant are two guys you're watching. Denny, because you're going to put the ball in his hands, let him run downhill, and then Jeremy Grant, because he didn't shoot the ball well on Wednesday. He did not look great. He looked rusty. You got to shake that off. And if he can become a reliable scorer off the bench, presumably, or even as your fourth, fifth option in the starting lineup, that's good. Like, if you looked at the game against Golden State, my gripe with Jeremy was that Jeremy Grant had 11 shots. That was the third most shots on the team. Shaedon Sharpe led the way. Tumani Kamara was right there at 13, and then Jeremy Grant. I think you get to a point where Denny Avdia and Shaedon Sharpe are taking the most. Tumani Kamara coming in third. And then, like I said, your fourth or fifth scorer, that's where Jeremy Grant comes into play. So get the ball out of his hands a little bit, and so that he's more, judicious with the shots that he takes. He makes smarter shots. It's not just huck it and chuck it. It's like, hey, this is my spot to hit, and now I'm going to hit it. And I end the night, and I only took 8 shots, but I was 5 of 8 from the floor, and it's a good night. That's what this team needs out of Jeremy Grant. And I know people are going to say, like, well, that's not a lot of production for what he's getting paid, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about just what he's giving you night to night. And I think 5 of 8 shooting, being consistent there, spot up when you can, versus, 4 of 11, 4 of 13, 5 of 15. Those nights I don't want to see. I want to just see a little downtick in the shot attempts and just making them with more consistency. And again, if he's your fourth option offensively, not your number one, which we've seen here in his time in Portland, I think that's his wheelhouse. And I think that's where you get the best version of Jeremy Grant. And ideally, that's what we want. He can be the polarizing guy that we talk about. Where's he going to go? Should he have been traded? Should he have been this? Should he have been that? None of that matters, because right now he's a Portland Trailblazer. So if he's a Portland Trailblazer, you want the absolute best version of Jeremy Grant, no matter what. And I think the best version of Jeremy Grant is that guy who's your fourth option and everyone else works. And he just kind of, I'm going to take the shots where I can get them. I'm going to play really, really good defense. I'm going to be consistent enough, though, that I have gravity and the defense has to worry about me. And if you get that version of Jeremy Grant, then I think you're in a good spot with him. And I'm not worried about if he's in your starting lineup or coming off the bench. That's for Coach Billups to decide in the long run. But I do think it sets you up for success no matter what. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. If you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. You can also go on to social media, type in Chris J. Burkhardt. Give me a follow if you have not already. You can ask me all your Blazers questions all game long after the game. Ask them to me tomorrow, too. I'll answer them, while I'm trying to watch the Ducks get a big win, while I'm also watching my beautiful children cheer on the Milwaukee Mustangs youth football team, okay? I'm here. I'm a man of the people. And, of course, YouTube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can join the chat there as well, where Kirk says it's a great test tonight. Really interested in the centers this year. Our team can be a playoff team with good to great center play. And you know what, Kirk? I think that this team can be a great team. I don't know how much the center play impacts their ceiling, but it doesn't hurt. And I think it all starts with how good they are on the defensive end. Because you did see young Hansen, again, he got exposed a little bit against those stretch lineups. How can he better that? Does he learn from these things quickly? That's going to be important. But I am with you. I want to see a big year from D.C. And if D.C. is an all-world defender, Portland's in a real good spot. So you ain't wrong on that. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we've got plenty more to talk about here on Blazers Game Day as the Blazers get ready to take on the Sacramento Kings in their preseason home opener. I am Chris Burkhardt, and I'll talk to you after the break right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back in to Courtside Monday. Chris Burkhardt here with you. And, let me tell you what, I'm excited. Preseason is always a time to get excited, right? But it's a good chance tonight to see exactly what the Blazers have and exactly what they're going to attack the Sacramento Kings with. Like we said, I think defensively this team has been locked in. It was probably one of my favorite parts of that game against Golden State. That has been pretty consistent all year long, especially in the second half of last year. And then I thought they put it on display again in that game, and I hope they can do it tonight against Golden State to prove that that is really, really what they want to do. As logical Raptors fanatic says, go defense. It's the way. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Now, Coach Billups talked about offensively. They need to get better. They need to kind of rely on that at points too, because they've got to the point where they can trust their defense to get the job done, but they can't necessarily trust their offense. And they need to get to a point where, hey, it's a 2-point game. It's in the waning minutes. We know that we can go get that bucket and things are going to be good. That's the next step for this team, is getting to that point, getting to where they can go make those moves and do those things, and everything is good. Everything is good. They can trust their offense. It's not like, okay, oh man, we're down by 5 points. There's a minute left. We can't get these buckets. But if you can get Toumani Camara in a position to hit those threes and you can trust it, and he's hitting 40%, shooting like he was against Golden State, if Shaedon Sharpe is hitting those open shots and attacking the rim aggressively, those are good things. Those are good things, right? And now Kirk says, I love being wrong on two. He is he's better offensively than a Bruce Bowen. Well, hey, Bruce Bowen was a stud, and he got the job done. And if that's what Tumani Kamara turns into, like, you're in a good spot. Offensively, what I love about Tumani Kamara's offense, more so than anything, is year one, it was not good. And he went into the exit interviews talking about, like, I want to work on my offense this year. I don't want to be pulled off of the floor because the team needs an offensive bucket and I can't be trusted offensively. I want to give coach a reason to keep me on the floor at all times, and to do that, I got to be better on the offensive side of the ball. That was his goal, his first true offseason after his rookie year, and then he came into the season last year and you saw it. He wasn't looking to make the pass immediately. He was aggressive. He would put the ball on the floor. He would attack the rim, and the three-point shot got better and better throughout the year. And then in the game against Golden State, I thought it was on full display again. The shot was there. The aggressiveness was there. Things that he has continued to want to build on. Like, he is becoming a true, like, five-tool player. He can bring it on the offensive side of the ball. He can bring it on the defensive side of the ball. We all know that. I think that what's really interesting, and maybe we'll see some of it tonight, is he was compared because he comes in and he has the number and he has the wrist band, but like a Scottie Pippen, right? And Scottie Pippen, what made him so good was there he was. He's a small forward, but, man, you could put him at the point guard. And how many times you watch those old Bulls games where he's the one bringing the ball up the floor? How many times did you watch him as a Portland Trailblazer bringing the ball up the floor, playing that point forward position? A guy who can guard all five positions, who can be relied upon to sit out there and get the ball from the point guard or anyone else passing it and hit that spot-up shot, but then also be trusted to put the ball in his hand and initiate the offense and call the plays and be the quarterback. I think if you can add that part of the game, like, that's like kind of the next progression of Tumani Kamara's game. Like, if you can sit there and say, okay, Drew, we're going to sub you out. Denny, you're subbed out. Okay, who's going to be the ball handler? Blake Wesley was the guy against Golden State, but if you can trust Tumani Kamara to go in there and be an offensive guy who can lead the team and be the point guard, be the quarterback, I like that a lot. With that, it comes slowing down the game a little bit, the high basketball IQ, all things I think Tumani Kamara has. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to from him as he continues to progress and get better. Now, speaking of progressing and getting better, young Hansen, he talked to the media after the game in Golden State. There was a massive contingent of media there, especially the Chinese media, wanting a chance to talk to the guy who is the most popular Chinese basketball player to come out in a decade plus. I mean, everyone remembers you had, Yan Jianlian, and you had Yao Ming and all that. But here comes Young Hansen, a first-round pick, all eyes of an entire country on him, which I think is incredible. I think that's special. Like, it just shows you what basketball is. And basketball in China is absolutely massive. Like, I don't know if you guys truly understand how massive basketball is over there, to the point that they broadcast games in special formats just because the Chinese market eats it up that way. Like, I think it's vertical. They love to watch videos vertically. They did Summer League a few years ago. They filmed all Summer League games vertically just for the Chinese market. They love basketball. And so when you love the NBA and you love basketball as a country, and a guy repping your country gets drafted, all eyes are on him. And I think that's so cool for Portland, because especially as this team continues to grow and hopefully takes the next steps moving forward, you get not only all of Rib City's eyes on you, but you get the international market just watching everything that you're doing as a team. I think that's incredible. And as you know, people are chiming in on the YouTube chat. Like, I like the combo of bigs. Donovan and Young give you different looks, and they absolutely do. There's something to be said about having bigs who play a similar game. I look back to 2019. Yusuf Nurkic gets hurt. You sub Enes Kanter in. The reason Portland was able to have a successful playoff run is because Enes Kanter offensively played the exact same game that Yusuf Nurkic did. They weren't anywhere near each other defensively. I think we all knew that. But offensively, they both were very, very good pick-and-roll bigs. And so there was something to be said about having two guys that play the same game. But there's also something to be said about having guys who play polar opposite games. Because I think you look at Donovan Clingan, plays a lot more similar to Robert Williams, where defense is the anchor. That's his calling card. He's going to impact the game that way. As where Young Hansen, he's going to impact the game offensively because he can score in the low post, and more so he can distribute the ball. He's a very, very good passer. I think he's going to continue to grow with that. And I think that is what makes that rotation so good, because you don't know what they're going to throw at you. They can throw multiple weapons your way, multiple looks. It's like when they subbed in Dwap Reith, right? He's an offensive big. You know that he can shoot the ball, attack you from beyond the arc, and keep you honest. And that changes how you defend. And as Kirk points out in the YouTube chat, that, yeah, another big acquisition was the University of Oregon. They got a Chinese point guard on that team, Wei Lin. Like, that's cool. It's absolutely cool. And with him, again, the media contingency, as the game continues to grow, you get eyes on you, and that's important. And if you're the Blazers, too, I mean, more international players than any other squad? They're starting like 4 or 5 of them. It's pretty incredible. So I like what we're going with. I like that big rotation, as people are talking about in the chat. And I just like that offensively the team looked in sync against Golden State. And the big difference is it's going to be, it's going to be a much different test tonight against Sacramento. They're going to approach you differently defensively. How do you attack that? And if they go straight, what I'm going to look for is, do the Blazers go straight to Shaedon Sharpe right off the jump? Because if they do, that tells me that there's definitely emphasis on him being the go-to offensive player this year. If they waste no time and, 4 of the first 6 shots are coming out of Shaedon Sharpe's hands, by design at least, maybe you get the breakaway bucket or something like that, and you have no help, you just go get the bucket. But if they are designing their plays to go through Shaedon Sharpe early in this game, hopefully you start to develop that hierarchy. You see Shea, and then you see, is Denny the second guy, or is it Toumani Camara? I mean, ideally, I think you have the hierarchy of your go-to scorers would be Shea, and then Denny, and then Toumani, and then I think that's where Jeremy Grant comes into play after that. It's Jeremy and Drew. I would like to get more production offensively out of Drew, but I also understand that defensively, that's what he's made his entire career on. And as long as he ain't slacking on that end, I ain't going to be upset in the least. I ain't going to be upset at all. But I still want him to hit that shot, be aggressive, do all those little things. But if they come out tonight and they say, Shea, you're our guy again, you're going to go take the lion's share of the shots, you're going to be aggressive from 3, you're going to put the ball on the floor, you're going to attack the rim, we're going to set up plays for you to succeed, I think that's telling. And I think it's a big reason that Portland's offense can be better this year. All right, this is Blazers Game Day. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt. You can also go over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and get in on the chat over there. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, I'm going to give you my keys to the game. What do the Blazers need to do to get a victory over the Sacramento Kings, or at least look good and send us home happy? Because we know the wins and losses don't matter in preseason. Doesn't mean that a win wouldn't feel good, right? We're going to take a break. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more coming up on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here with you, getting you ready for the Trailblazers preseason home opener against the Sacramento Kings. Tip-off in... I have no idea what that was, but you know, technical difficulties. We figured it out, though. But no, getting you ready for the Kings and Blazers here tonight. And it's going to be a fun game. Absolutely, it's going to be a fun game. And what are my keys to the game in this one? It doesn't really matter, right? I don't know if a win or a loss is something that we're going to hang our hat on, right? Because it's preseason. What does going undefeated in preseason mean? What does, not winning a game in preseason mean? It means nothing. The 82 games that follow preseason are what matters, but there's still a lot that we can want from this team and want to see in this game. Particularly, you look at what happened against Golden State. The Blazers did get 26 assists. I like that. That was above their average last year, which was just under 24, and they were one of the bottom 5 teams in the league in assists. If they can consistently hit that number, I would be excited. We saw a lot of games last year. It was a 15-assist game while the other team had 40. The gap in this one against Golden State was Portland had 26, Golden State had 31. A team that's built their entire offense on ball movement. They're always going to have a lot of assists. Golden State is. But Portland kept pace. And you're going to need to do that to continue to get the offense rolling. Part of Coach Billups' offense is having more ball movement, more player movement. So I want to see that assist number back in the mid-20s again tonight. Also, rebound the basketball. They did incredible against Golden State. They had 60 rebounds to Golden State's 44. That's what put them in that big lead. And if you had the bench guys doing their job, they probably would have held on to that lead. But it was the end of the bench guys, so I'm not worried that lead was whittled away. Now, if it was the starting 5 and Golden State was able to come back, then you worry about the team's ability to get things going and hold on to those big leads. But at this one, it doesn't matter. The rebounding game was still good. I want to see that again. And then the last thing for me, I just want to see Shaedon Sharpe have another good game. Start putting them together. Get that snowball effect, right? Don't just go, hey, I had 22 points, I'm good, and then the next game go drop 5. Start making these 22, 23, 25-point games, these 30-point games. Start making them consistent. Start making them expected. So it's not, oh, wow, did you see Shaedon Sharpe's game last night? He dropped 32. Make it be, oh, man, did you see Shaedon Sharpe's game last night? He only scored 18. It was an off night. Make that offense consistent. That's what I want to see tonight, is to continue to build that offensive consistency from Shaedon Sharpe. Do those things, you'll put yourself in a pretty good spot. And we don't know yet how Coach is going to run his rotations or what the allotment of minutes is going to be. Maybe Drew Holiday plays into the second half this game. Didn't play in the second half against Golden State. Maybe Donovan Clingan gets more than the just over 11 minutes he got against Golden State. I would hope so. But you also still need to see what you got in Young, and you need to see what you got with your rotations. Speaking of which, if you're just joining us and you haven't seen yet, a different lineup for your Portland Trailblazers tonight in that game against Golden State. The starting lineup was Drew Holiday, Shaedon Sharpe, Toumani Camara, Jeremy Grant, and Donovan Clingan, and that's getting a little bit of a shakeup tonight as Jeremy Grant will be coming off the bench and Denny Avdia will be back in the starting lineup. So you got Drew, Shaedon Sharpe, Denny, and DC going for the starters for your Portland Trailblazers tonight. And that allows you to see what you have in Jeremy Grant with your second unit, what you have in your substitution patterns, all those things that have to be kind of cleaned up and figured out before you hit the regular season. Now, game 1 is going to be interesting, so you're going to have an idea of what Coach Billups truly wants his lineup to be. I would suspect that you see one of these last 2 preseason games, you probably see Drew, Toumani at shooting guard, and then Denny, Jeremy, and DC, just to see what that defensive lineup brings you to. Still a lot of moving parts. Regardless, big game tonight. Preseason home opener for your Portland Trailblazers. Tip-off in just over an hour. Your radio voice of the Trailblazers, Travis Demers, will be on the call. He'll also be on the TV call if you're watching on Blazer Vision as well, so that's pretty cool. But don't go anywhere, because just because tip-off's in an hour doesn't mean we don't have more content, because coming up next across the Trailblazers audio network, Chad Doing has the Trailblazers pregame show. And keep it here after the game, where I'll have the 5th quarter, where hopefully we're talking about a Trailblazers victory. Rip City, I'll talk to you after the game.